That this anime should have never fucking existed. I watch a fair amount of anime, so I have a certain limited amount of knowledge of what makes an anime good. Great storytelling, top-notch quality action scenes, tier 1 animations and art style. Well, this one has none of it. According to my anime list, this is the worst anime of all time. Actually, the second worst. This is the worst anime, but oh, I don't think I can show any of it on YouTube. Now, I've never really watched any bad anime in my life, so I had no idea what to expect in this one. So I went in open-minded, and needless to say, I successfully wasted 3 hours of my life. So I'm gonna sum it up and save your time from ever watching this anime. First and the most important bad thing about this anime is it's fully fucking CGI. Like, even in CGI films, there are like a few manually drawn frames, but in the entirety of this show, there is none. Also, the characters have only one reaction phase. There's more emotions on the poster shown by these characters than in the entire 12 episodes. And I had to watch this show 2 times because my first time I was watching it, it was at 3 AM and I dozed off 90% of the time. And the second most amazing thing about this anime is its OP. Now, I'm just gonna play it for you and you'll see what I'm talking about. Alright, so the plot goes like this. Average anime 3D protagonist goes to school and has a normal life. I forgot his name, so I'm just gonna call him 3D from now on. Apparently this guy hates technology and is only good at cooking. But his brother is a nerd, so he calls him a virgin and sends him to do his errands. 3D sees a ghost talking to some nice friendly people and gets scared. But after 10 minutes of him talking to himself, he finally decided to join in the conversation. Boom! Car crash. 2030, 2 hot chicks fighting. One of them is mechanical. You know what the fight scenes, I'm not even gonna say a single word for them. So the main plot is in 2030 there are weapons from space that can cause mass destructions called X-Arms, and a number of people has them, including Mr. Agent Smith from Matrix. Pretty wakes up as one of those X-Arms and as an AI with only his brain remaining. Lots of goofy ass dialogues and more Matrix fight scenes later. Pretty hacks into the ship, takes control over the mechanical girl and beats Agent Smith's ass. Agent Smith gives his villain speech about how X-Arms has infiltrated the criminal underground and then
Little bro, f this game on my mama, you dirty as f, you dead ass.
End of the episode. Mr. 3D finds himself in jail and meets Mr. Bossman of the police. Yeah, those chicks from earlier were cops. He gives 3D a speech of how dangerous X-Arms are and threatens him that he would kill him if 3D doesn't help the police in finding out the other X-Arm owners. Boom! Suicide bombing in Tokyo. People are just blowing themselves up in the streets because they were told to do it. Also, Tokyo is kind of a shit place in 2030, as it was destroyed by an X-Arm owner back in 2020. A lot of people are homeless and poor. Basically, Detroit. 3D meets his team, doctor, big man, businessman, and the elf. Boom! It's the Japanese KKK broadcasting in live TV. Turns out they were behind the suicide bombings after all. They give threats to the cops and then the cops set out on finding them. Apparently 3D can take over Miss Android's body now, but only after a kiss with this chick for some reason. Jesus. 3D hacks into KKK's headquarters and finds their location. Then they reveal the truth about why people were committing suicide. Yeah, I already told you. It's just because this guy told him to. Epic helicopter chase. Let me do some sound effects. Boom, 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 boom. I like man. I like sucking dicks. Priest kills himself. Mission completed. More kisses and takeovers and dinners later. They go into capturing this African guy who is seeking asylum in Japan and apparently is just a very bad person. And also has access to one of the X-Arms. And also has a very cute maid. The gang goes to the UN captured zone, meets a random ass American cowboy for some reason, then goes to meet this shady ass businessman who deals with weapons and stuff. While the other two goes to that African's mansion to capture him. Oh, guess what? It's the maid, and she is one of the X-Arms. So they fight her and gets their ass beaten. Meanwhile, the other team gets shot down by the UN. 3D and the maid gets a huge robot update and then they fight each other like Power Rangers. And after an overly long goofy battle, 3D finally wins and the maid and the African dies and all is fail. So we get more cooking and a flashback with 3D's nerd brother, but that's not just it. He wakes up. It was all just a dream. Oh, I fucking hope it was. But no, it's just a simulation being done to revive 3D's memories. A lot of irrelevant stuff happens with a lot of hot chicks. 3D almost loses his V card, but this girl stops it because apparently she's also an AI and wants to marry 3D in the future. Yeah, why not? 3D gets his memories back where he sees someone called Beta who looks just like him destroy Tokyo back in 2020 with an X-arm that can spawn black holes. We get introduced to Skull Emoji Bad Guy who has that X-arm, who's also an auctioneer who's holding an auction for the X-arm in a casino. So the gang infiltrates the casino as this old wise man's bodyguard. Also, this guy's also there to buy the X-arm. We get a bunch of backstory about the old men, but I kind of forgot about them, so let's move on. We also get introduced to this random guy who's also a cop and is smiling all the time. Huge shootout happens and they escape with the old man. Gets chased by another X-arm but wins anyways because of plot armor. 3D meets the Skull dude who's apparently knows his name. I wonder who that is. We meet this dude who's on the path of vengeance against the old man because he lost everything to him because, I don't know, his backstory is basically of Batman's. Yeah, also the AI girl gets mindfucked by him and then...
Oh my god, bro. Oh, hell no, man. What the fuck, man? How did this bitch so ass?
Yeah, I don't know what that was about. Oh, then we finally get to meet Beta, who's apparently trying to be Riddler and captures the old men. And we have fights between one team who's trying to take down the auctioneer and the other who's trying to take down Beta. Bunch of goofy Divinkus ass fights happen. 3D fights with Beta, who's basically a corrupted clone of him. The old man escapes and this random guy dies. Oh, guess what? He actually doesn't, and he was Beta all along. A lot of shit happens. We get the AI girl back on a good side. Beta gets more corrupted and huge. 3D gets his suit back. Oh, and by the way, the Skull Emoji guy is none other than 3D's brother, who back in the day managed to save 3D after the accident and create Alpha and Beta. His brother sacrifices his life to save the world and gives 3D the X-arm to kill Beta. So they kill Beta and everything goes too well. Just kidding, more AIs get corrupted due to Beta and they launch nukes from all over the world. The end. Now what I would personally rate this anime is incomprehensible to human mind out of 10. Even the worst hentai I've seen has better animation than this. It's like some kid's school project that somehow wins the contest. Like if I'm gonna be honest, the manga seems pretty okay and I genuinely feel bad for the manga artist because his series got adopted by my 10-year-old daughter. Oh my god, I think I lost my brain cells after watching that anime. Subscribe.